It is February 17th, 2026. The hens are out and about. I made them a little trail through the snow with some of their old straw. And they go all the way to the polytunnel over there, where the ground stays pretty dry. So they have a dust bath in there. That's where they've been this morning. I let them out and they went straight there. That's Amy and her auntie Sabrina, who's a bit scary. And yeah, all the chickens are gone now, so there's not much of a video to make. In the spirit of giving a thorough update, I did lose a hen, Gail, one of the buff Orpingtons. She, not 100% sure what happened, but I suspect she was egg bound. And she's a little peculiar, and well, she was a little peculiar, and unlike her sisters, who you can see one of her sisters there, that's Paige. They all stopped laying in like August, and they've done that every year since I've had them. You can hear Yellowfoot yelling her head off. Here she comes. But yeah, Gail, she kept laying until, well, she kept laying as long as Yellowfoot. You're right, sweetheart. Which is a very long time, considering Gail must have been either 5 or 6. So pretty old hen. Unlike little Yellowfoot here, who's 2.5. And yeah, she started molting, and it was really cold. And it just happened quickly. I didn't notice that she had a dirty vent. And yeah, I suspect she was just struggling to poop, which is, not exactly a lovely topic to address, but that's the way it goes. And I always think it's pretty tragic the way hens, if they're gonna pass, tend to do so in the spring, or just before the spring, because well, spring is what they all look forward to. The only season they don't really get along with is winter. They love the fall. Summer can be a bit hot, but it's, it's better. They can at least get out and look for shade and stuff like that. Here comes sweet little Babs. All right, Babs. And then aside from that, I've had, you can see at the back there, pooping there, Babs. Very nice. Very nice, Babs. Thank you for that. Behind Paige over there, you see little Sharky. I've had Sharky inside in my little infirmary. Before Gail passed, I went out one evening to shut them up, and she was just struggling. Babs has had that piece of straw on her butt for like a week now. But yeah, but you can see she's looking pretty good. She's about to have a sunbathe, which is lovely to see. Although Paige is blocking her. And yeah, she's been in the basement. Her issue is she has a hooked beak. And I've never developed a system for trimming it, because I never have had to. Because she whittles it down by herself in the summer, but in winter it gets a little bit overgrown. And I think that makes it hard for her to get her share of the treats and so on. They have free access to layer feed, but I don't know. Somehow she was underweight, I would say. But chickens, they rebound pretty quickly once you fix the problem. So I brought her in. Initially, what made me concerned was she was having issues sort of holding her head up. So I gave her a bath. And then I've been giving her all sorts of high-calorie treats, like shavings of a suet block and raisins and grapes and stuff like that, along with her regular food and Nutri-Drench. So hopefully that's made all the difference. And yeah, this morning I put it back because the weather's mild and is forecast to stay mostly mild. I might bring her in one night when it's supposed to be getting down to -17, about a week from now. You can actually see a little mosquito on the snow there. That's nice. But yeah, she's hopefully going to be just fine. I know her friends, her sisters missed her, especially Thimble. Thimble loves Sharky. So that's nice and cute. I've got somebody behind me here. That's a little Yellowfoot. She's eating tiny bits of grass. Having a pretty good time, aren't you, love? I went to let them out into the outer yard yesterday and she flew up on the roof, so that's how I know she's ready to go on and venture and get out and explore a little bit more. I think they're just real happy to have the sunshine back. Because of course when they're shut up, they have some sunshine that comes through their little window, but for the most part they can't sunbathe at their leisure. So hopefully that's making all the difference for them. And I'm out here with my coffee. This is making me happy because this is what I love to do, and it's no fun doing this when it's -20. So I've got my little garden journal here so I can do some sketching and some planning. Just a little bit of enjoyment. Alright, little page. I need to drink my coffee before it gets cold. Yeah, altogether, pretty pleased. Sharky seems to be doing well. Oh, there she goes again, another little sunbathe. Yeah, very cute. And she's not super tame, Sharky. She doesn't like being handled, really. But I think she put up with it pretty well. She's the kind of chicken you pick her up and she just has to flap, you know. She thinks it's time to fly. So it can be kind of weird trying to sort of restrain her wings when you know all she wants to do is flap. So I'm glad to have her back, and hopefully the forecast changes so I don't have to bring her in again, but no problem if I do. It's just a good excuse to give her all the treats she loves without the competition of everyone around her. And I reckon today I may, that page cleaning, little Sharky there, I reckon I may boil them up a bunch of eggs, because they've been laying really, really well all through this cold. That's sweet. Yeah. Still a lot of snow. But you can probably see, well, you can't see, but behind me, I've been clearing out this area again. It's supposed to be about 5 degrees today and sunny, so hopefully a lot of that disappears. We're all a bit tired of it, and we could use a bit more freedom, but they really make the most of every opportunity, so bless them for that. I really appreciate the enthusiasm. Everybody's out and making the most of the day. And the roosters are doing well. I did have an incident with one of my roosters. I tried to integrate my rooster Jessup with his brother Lemmy and his uncle Raven. And Lemmy really likes Raven. They get along really well. But although initially it seemed like they were getting along, I went to see them the next morning and they were covered in blood. And all the blood was frozen onto them. And what's more, Lemmy had, shall we say, disfigured Jessup's eye. So his eye is fine, but his eyelid got like torn, and it looked really gross for a while, but it's just sort of healed up now, and he doesn't look the same as he did, and he can't really blink, but most people wouldn't tell the difference. And he seems happy, you know. He's been inside too, and he's heavier than he was, so I think he's put on a bit of weight. And yeah, he's a really sweet boy, Jessup. He's just not compatible with other chickens, unfortunately. He's mean to hens, and all the roosters hate him. But he loves people, so I guess that's what's going to have to be the way for him. And yeah, people like a gentle rooster, so hopefully I can get people to visit him more. I certainly visit him plenty. And yeah, I have him in a run on the other side of the coop there, so he can sort of interface with his brothers. But the trouble is, if you give him actual ability to, get near his brother, even if there's bars between them, they will try to fight through the bars and hurt themselves and crack their beaks and stuff like that. So I have to work on that and figure out a better system. He also has another paddock way out there past that little greenhouse, maybe you can see, where I put him in the summer, but that's been destroyed by the snow, and it's full of snow, so I have to put a new tarp on that, and then that will be where he goes. In fact, what I might do is sort of dig up the soil a bit in there and plant it out to birdseed and mustard and stuff, and then keep him in his run on the other side of the coop until that has gotten to a certain height. And then I'm thinking I'll put a little like a dog crate in there and sure up the sides, and then he can just sleep in there and I don't have to move him back and forth during the day and the night. So that could be nice. And the hens do go visit him out there, so he's not completely alone, and I visit him. And I have another plan as well. My rooster Millhouse, who lives in the little run that you can't really see right there, gonna give him a bigger run, sort of this pine tree. Oh, just pour coffee on myself. This pine tree here, see, can't really point to it, that one. That will be like a fence post, and this will also be a fence post connecting to the coop. And hopefully what that'll do is make it harder for Yellowfoot to fly out. So sometimes I can keep them in the yard without having to worry about her flying out. And then over here, I'll cut a hole in the fence so I can open that up and the hens can come out to free range in this way, which would be way better in my view for a whole bunch of reasons. Oh, a little Sharky over there. So I don't want to zoom on her now that I'm covered in coffee. It doesn't really matter. There we are. Little buddies. You're standing in a sun, Paige. Chillin'. And yeah, Sharky had, has double bumbles as well. Bumblefoot galore. And it's hard to really tell what caused it, but I think it's mostly when they get overexcited and flap around on the gravel driveway. Some hens just seem to be more susceptible to it, so I've been soaking her feet in Epsom salts and doing that every day and spraying it down with vetericin, where I've purged her bumbles, as it were. They're not too bad. She seems pretty happy to me. And then we've got more hens coming up this way. You right, Lubs? You right, Randy? You right, Leela? It makes all the difference for them to be able to get out and free range, and I think they're usually a little bit spooked when I come and abduct one of their friends, as I did with Sharky, because they don't know what happened. But now that she's back, I think it makes them all pretty happy, and it's important to make sure I don't keep her away for too long, otherwise she'll sort of lose her place in the pecking order. And that's about it. Isn't that right, Randy? You gotta love it. You're right, Amy. You're right, Paul. Yeah. That's a good ending.